Hey, it's me, Teresa Valentino, and I just needed to stop in here in my little survivor safe space and dispel a little bit of gaslight. And I'm hoping that I can give you a little piece of insight that can help you get through these turbulent times that we're in. Times they are a changing, thank God, and maybe do it in a little bit of a better mood. And so today I want to talk about just some stuff that I had to process after George Herbert Walker Bush died, where they have, it's the same old thing where, like, if I watch something like Fox News or Tommy Lahren, I know to expect whatever they're going to say is going to be some kind of troll. Um, Even on MSNBC, I don't watch any of that kind of shit. I didn't watch when John McCain died for the same reason, because what they're going to say about that person is going to turn an absolute blind eye to things that matter very much to me, because they're going to toe the line of never saying anything negative about someone after they've died. And we have this deeply corrupt practice in my country of doing that. It's kind of like when for a long time when we had mass shootings, people would want to talk about gun control and they'd be like, it's too soon, it's not the right time, people are still really upset about this, we'll do thoughts and prayers instead. You know what I mean? It's the same ass game that's being played. It's really toxic stuff, and it's the same people doing it. John McCain and Herbert Walker Bush were both well beloved by the NRA. So just understand, when they call for civility and speaking well of the dead, they're playing both sides of the fence, because George Herbert Walker Bush was not a polite person. He was not a civil person. He was a vicious, vicious, passive-aggressive person. He was the head of the CIA, and then he became the vice president to Ronald Reagan, who single-handedly swept America's mentally ill people from state-funded hospitals onto the streets of America to die like animals. That was Ronald Reagan and his legacy, and George Herbert Walker was right there with him, part and parcel, while he was making his Willie Horton commercials and not giving a shit what happened or how many gay men died. I'm not a conspiracy person, but if it does come out at some point that Herbert Walker Bush was involved in actually engineering the AIDS virus to kill gay men, it would not surprise me, because I think he was that awful of a person. So I just avoid, as much as I can, the news coverage of people fawning over this toxic individual who, thank God, is gone now. Like I said, I expect Fox News to say something idiotic. I expect MSNBC to say something semi-idiotic, or not, just feckless, okay? But what kind of fucked with me was when I watched Pod Save America talk about it. And that's a group of very woke, very clever guys that I appreciate. I watch that show every chance I get. I find them insightful and funny. They have a lot of clues and they use them well, right? But on this particular day, just their absolute failure to get what the problem is with George Herbert Walker Bush just kind of stumped me. Like, they were talking for quite a while about, his civility, and that he was, the way he did things was just so very different in contrast to the way things are going in our country now, that they kind of wanted to give him what they call a good boy award. Like, there's I think it's a Tumblr page where she draws like good boy awards when men want to be clapped on the back for doing the most basic mundane shit. Like, Herbert Walker Bush didn't make up nicknames like Little Rocket Man for other world leaders, so let's give him a prize. Willie Horton, no. Okay, no, he doesn't get a prize for being polite. So the thing was, on Pod Save America, when the guys were talking about all these different things, they didn't mention the chronic ass grabbing until they were almost 10 minutes into it. I actually was like getting pissed off, and I stopped what I was doing to actually watch the timer and see when or if they were actually going to mention that he was a chronic, routine, nonstop ass grabber, the original pussy grabber in chief. Okay. I only found out that George Herbert Walker was a chronic ass grabber last year, and I hated that guy and knew quite a lot about him while he was in office. And yeah, somehow that escaped my attention. Go figure. So, but now that we do know, I found out last year because an author named Christina Klein, Kline, if you'd like to see that disgusting photograph of him grabbing her ass. She's an author like I am. It takes so much as an author to get any kind of attention, acclaim, or recognition whatsoever. So for her to accomplish something with her writing that got her a meet and greet with the former president of the United States, most people would find that an honor. It's the sort of thing that they might mention at her funeral, or, you know what I mean? It's a big deal. Like her grandchildren will tell other people, well, she once met the president of the United States because she won an award or something. And for George Bush, there was just another opportunity to put a bitch in her place, you know? Because Christina Klein, like I said, she did whatever she did. She got the meet and greet with him, and then she showed up there in her Sunday best with her husband. Probably couldn't have been any prouder if he tried. And then she got up there, and when it was time for the cameras to click, then he said, hey, my favorite magician is David Copperfield, and he grabbed her ass. And she is supposed to just stand there and be like, you know, with her husband standing right there. Like, who does that shit? So it's just like the failure of men as a group to grasp what the fucking problem is with that just blows my mind. And honestly, I had a bad day about it. But then I just, you know, I don't know. Something's going to happen pretty soon for men to either figure their shit out. I will still watch Pod Save America, but they really disappointed the shit out of me with that, because even when they did mention the ass grabbing, they didn't think that was really a big deal. They just kind of glanced over it and factored it in with a bunch of other things. It's like, hey, please hold, please hold. No, you can't talk about Donald Trump being a pussy grabber and just be fine with that shit, and that guy is actually a polite guy. You know what I mean? Like, men still have a lot of issues that they need to work through as a group about understanding the humanity of women, and that is just going to be super painful for them. So I just encourage you as a survivor, whether you are male or female, because I know a lot of male survivors too, but when you see stuff like this where it doesn't seem like there is any safe corner in the world where people actually get that if someone grabs your body, it's a problem, you can come here, because I promise to God, I will never fucking be okay with anybody's little joke that involves grabbing your private areas. I don't want people touching my fucking body. And I am a little disgusted with the guys from Pod Save America. Like, I feel like if instead of David Copperfield, his thing had been David Popperfield, like if he sees somebody and he thinks they're gay, then he just punches them in the face, haha, and it's a joke, right? Or if he said, oh, you're a writer, well, pencil me in. If he thinks you're a gay man, he just takes a pencil and sticks it up your ass when the camera goes off. Would they be okay with that shit? Like, it's the same, dudes. It's exactly the same. Like, he touches women's bodies to fucking humble them and to disgrace them and to destroy their accomplishments. And he gets to go out in a blaze of glory. No, the fuck he doesn't. He was a fucking chronic lifelong rapist, and the world is better off without him. So I think that for us as survivors, like I said, don't take it personally when other people don't get it. As a white person, I was steeped in this exact same thing of like other people pay a price that you never have to pay. And so it can be very easy to not know how heavy that burden is day by day, month by month, year by year, to just be cradle to grave, fighting every single day to be seen as a human being. And I felt really great that I'm at a certain place in my mental health now where when I saw them have that kind of really upsetting, disrespectful conversation about a fucking chronic serial sexual assaulter, you know what I mean? I'm glad that it didn't actually tank my mood, because I do see that things are changing, and I do see that everybody has a learning curve, and what we have to do is just all we need to do is just kind of stay in our lane of happiness and making ourselves feel good about our lives and what we're accomplishing. And these idiots are checking themselves. They're not going to check themselves. They are going to wreck themselves. Santa Muller is coming to town. And in terms of the social changes with men needing to wake up to how brutal they are to us on an ongoing basis, I mean, that's just a work in progress, I guess. But like I said, we have each other. You can come to my little Survivor Manifesto safe space at teresavalentino.com. Email me, Teresa at Teresa Valentino, and you don't need to put an H in anything. But, you know, I definitely will never say that somebody was polite after they grabbed your ass.